concerning fact and dimension tables? Any questions so far? Because I want your response in the chat section.
Okay, not on the mic, right? Okay.
You can answer on the chat section, Mike, anyway. Just answer. Any question on fact and dimension? Do you understand the concept very well?
Okay, sorry, apologize. Last lessons,
Okay.
some of us took it on transit, so meaning that we're actually doing it on phone, and you just talked about continuous practice for all these templates. Is it possible you share a dummy template because so that we can just
Okay, so
adopt
Christiana,
from
after
there?
this call, please save this file and send it to the chat. Hello, Christiana, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Please save this file and send it so that everybody can have a copy.
All right.
Yes, yes. So when she sends it, Chukuka,
Yeah, go ahead, please.
you have a copy of this and you'll be able to understand. Don't worry, all the recordings of the class will be on YouTube today. I've been very busy with a project at the office. That's why I've not gotten time to upload on YouTube. But I will do it today.
No worries. We'll understand all the bottlenecks that have to do with bootcamp. I know a lot of multitasking for everybody.
Yeah.
But we're progressing. We're progressing. That's a good thing.
But do you understand the concepts, fact and dimension tables?
I wouldn't say categorically yes. The reason is I'm trying to wrap my head around it. Like I told you,
But
it was more of
if you
listening and
actually
not visual.
listened, yes, last week, you should understand. I made it very simple.
Yeah. As we go on, it will. I mean, it will bring back that knowledge. But like I said, for me, I'll speak for myself. I was doing more of audio than visual because I was on
Yeah, I
transit.
understand.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just do a recap. So if you look at your screen, you see that there are different business entities by your left. The product is an entity of the business. The customer is an entity of the business. The location is an entity of the business. Ship mode, that is the mode, the route, or the process at which you are shipping the different goods, is another business entity. We have the date. The date, we are using dates to do a lot of things. Our time intelligence, like your month, day, week, quarter, year, all those time intelligence attributes, right? You will see them in the dates table. Your segment is another. The segment means like the categorization of the different, what's it called, of the different products is a segment. So all of these things, they mix up the business entities. So they are called dimensions. Do you understand, Nanchukuka? They are
Yes,
called
I do.
dimensions. Now, if you now take a look at the different individual dimensions, you will see their primary keys, what we call primary key. The primary key is a unique identifier. Let me give you an example, Chukuka. If me and you go to an hospital, right, or we go into a clinic and they register us, even if we are giving birth to from the same mother, are we going to have the same ID in the hospital?
No, we can't have the same ID
Because
technically.
we are two different individuals. Even if we are twins, right?
Yeah.
They will not give us the same ID. They will never give us the same ID because we are two different what? Individuals. So that ID that we have in the hospital, our patient ID, is our unique identifier as an individual. That is what. Even if two people are bearing your name, Chukwuka, two people are bearing your name, they can never have the same ID.
Yes.
They won't say because you are bearing the same name. Even if your surname and your first name and last name and your middle name is the same thing, you guys can never bear the same. You can never have the same ID in the hospital. Do you understand, Achibuga? That's the way it is for the customers too. So even if people bear the same name, not to cause confusion, the only way we can identify them is by their unique key, which is their customer ID. If you like, 10 customers should be bearing 10 names, the same name. That is their own issue. All we know is that by the time we have their IDs is what we use to identify them at the end of the day. Do you understand?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so the primary key, which you see, all the IDs you see there, product ID, location ID, date, segment ID, ship mode ID, all of those things are what? They are the primary keys of those dimension tables. They are the primary keys of those dimension tables. You usually see every dimension has its own primary key. The products, how do we know that product A is different from product B? It's by their product ID, which is their unique identifier. It's by their product ID, right? How do we know that location? How do we segregate different locations? It's by their unique IDs. Canada is different from US. US is different from European countries, from UK. UK is different from Australia. Australia is different from China, right? Holland and Norway can be in the same Europe, can be in the same continent, yeah, but they are two different countries. So how do we separate them? Like the location ID. Is that clear? Now, those are dimensions, all the entities that makes up the business. The fact table, now what we call fact table, is not the transaction table, like the sales table. Are you getting it now, Chukwuka? The sales table
Yes,
is
I
is where all the transaction happens. The sales table. You will know the customer that bought the product, what product did they buy, at what amount, in what location, using which ship mode, right? At what quantity, all of those information about transactions, you will see them inside of the what? You will see them inside of the uh, sales table. The sales table is what we now refer to as the fact table. The business entities is what we refer to as the dimensions. Is it clear to you at all?
yes, it is. Go ahead, please.
Can I go ahead now? Okay.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Now, if you now look at the sales table, the last one there, where you have order date, ship date, product ID, you will see that all the dimensions are being represented by their IDs. All the dimensions, the product, the customer, the location, everything, ship mode, they are represented by the ID. So the ID is the only thing we need to represent the dimensions inside of the facts table. The IDs of the dimensions is what we need for us to be able to do what? For us to be able to, you know, for us to be able to identify different entities inside
Yeah.
of the facts. You have a question, Chukwuka?
No, no, please. I'm just concurring.
Okay, good. Now, this was where we stopped last week, where we broke down dimensions and facts, right? Now, by the time we come next week, we are going to have a guest speaker who's supposed to come today, but I told him that I wanted to explain some things to you first before he will come, because he will come and explain the concept of dimensional modeling in details, where you begin to hear concepts like slow changing dimension, type 0, type 1, type 2, type 3, all of those things. You start hearing the concept of surrogate key and what? Natural keys. He will explain what they mean by star schema and snowflake schema to you guys. And I'm very sure the guy is a Microsoft MVP and he's good at what he does, and he will explain to you guys well. Sorry. Also, before we go ahead, you notice that if you look at the fact table, everybody, you will see that all the primary keys of the business entities, the dimensions that are represented inside the fact table. Now, Shuka, listen to this part. By the time the different dimensions, when the product ID was inside its own table, inside the product table, it's called primary key, right? Now, by the time that same product ID now gets into the fact table, which is the transactional table, it now becomes a foreign key because that is not its own original table. You have a question, Francis? Okay.
Sorry, can you just repeat that part, please?
I said The product ID is a primary key on the product table because that is its own original table. Right? It's where we have the list of all the products and their unique IDs. But by the time that product ID now gets to a sales table, which is a transaction table, it will now become a foreign key inside the sales table. Because inside the sales table, it might not be unique again. And I'll tell you the reason why. It's because inside the sales table, a product ID will appear several times because they bought that product at different times, at different location, by different customers, or by the same customer. Do you understand what I'm saying, Chukwuka and Francis?
Yes, I'm getting it.
You know that the product ID in the product table is unique. One product, one ID. Another product, another ID. Another product, another unique ID. Two products will never share the same ID because they are two different products. But when it comes to sales table, you will see product ID appear several times because that product was, you can't see a product appear once. It means that what you're saying is that that product was only bought once. It can happen to some products that it might just be bought once. It's possible. We are not saying that it's not possible. But ideally, one particular product will be bought several times in a transaction table, whether by the same customer or by different customers or in the same location or different locations at different quantity, as different unique unit price or unit cost or whatever. Please, do we understand this concept of primary and foreign key? Everybody
Yes,
now.
well, yes, we're beginning to
Yeah.
understand it.
Okay. It's not clear to you, please. We are here to explain. We are here to explain. And I think everybody can use their mic. I want the class to be interactive. So, how do we now link up? How do we now link these two tables together? These two tables. How do we now link? How do we now link the two up together? The foreign key and the fact table and dimensional table is by the virtue of the primary and the foreign key. Let me now ask you this question now, Chukwuka. If I want to link the sales table to the customer table, which keys on both sides am I using to link them up? Will I use to relate the two together? Which of the columns on the two tables am I going to use to link it up?
The ID.
No.
Cost
I want you to look at to answer, please. I have my reasons.
customer ID.
In where? Customer ID from where?
The customer ID from A,
From where?
from column A.
As in from which table? No, you are getting there. You said customer ID.
The customer ID from the first table by the left.
What is the name of the first that table?
A.
Table has a name now. The table is a customer table. That table is a customer table.
Yeah, where your cursor is.
Yes. Okay. The customer ID in the customer table, yes. With which table? Which well, to which table now?
The sales table, the first one.
Okay. So which of the column are we using to connect the customer table and the sales table? Let me come with the question again.
Please.
We have two tables, customer and sales. Which of the columns are we using to connect the two together? Which of the column inside of customer table are we using to connect the column inside of the sales table?
If I may ask,
Yeah.
and from this spreadsheet,
Mm-hmm.
the okay, you now labeled all this to be the tables. You have customer table, we have product tables, and under customer tables, you have the customer ID, name, and the like under product tables. So now, you're asking which of these tables, if you want to,
Which of the
are you going
columns
to link
am I using to
Sorry?
connect sales and customer?
For sales and customer?
Yeah. Which of the columns
Okay.
between the two tables?
Product sales. Okay, under sales, under customer, you have customer ID. Under sales, you have customer ID. So it's going to be customer ID.
Exactly. Chuka, do you understand now?
I get.
Those are the two similar columns to the two tables.
Yes.
And that's the okay. So which one is the primary key? Which one is the foreign key?
The customer ID.
Yes.
And the foreign key is
the customer ID inside where? Inside which table?
The customer ID in is it 101?
Don't say 101.
No, it's going to be customer ID
the
in
customer ID
table.
in which table? In which
primary
table?
Key. Customer ID in primary is the primary key.
Francis,
customer
wait.
ID in customers.
I don't want you to tell him. I want him to understand it. We have two tables. You've already identified that the customer ID in the customer table and the customer ID in the sales table is what we use to connect the two tables together. That one is established. I'm now saying from the two tables now, where is the customer ID a primary key? And where is and on which table is the customer ID a foreign key?
The customer ID on the primary key is the one on D, while the foreign one is
Don't say the one on
column
D.
E.
What's the name of the table? The table has a name.
Products.
It can't be product now. Do you see customer ID on product?
Wait, hold on. The customer IDs.
Are you looking at your screen?
Yes, I'm looking at my screen. 101,
the table name
right?
is already there beside it now.
Yeah, the customer ID is 101, right? Then
leave the 101. Forget the 101 now.
Okay.
The customer ID is a column inside of the customer table. Yes. The customer ID is a column inside of the sales table. We've established that you can use the two columns, we can connect the two columns together to link two tables together. I'm now saying that that's customer ID. On which table is it called a primary key? On which table is it called a foreign key? Between customer table and sales table now.
The customer table is the primary key, while the
customer table is not a primary key. Customer table is a dimension.
Can you walk me through again? Just walk me through, because
okay. Francis, maybe you should explain.
Please, Francis.
Okay, now, imagine on your spreadsheet that you have all these tabs, these sheets, 1 sheet, 2 sheet, 3. Those are tables, and you see on sheet 1, you see customer. When you open it, you see all these columns of customer ID, first name, last name, and the likes. On sheet 2, you see sales, named as sales. When you open it, you see column 1, you see date, order date, you see ship date, you see product ID. So you are dealing with 2 sheets now, and you want to now link those 2 sheets with a primary and a secondary ID. Now we've identified that under customer, we want to link customer table and sales table, and we've looked at a unique identifier, which is the customer ID, because customer ID appears in customers table, and customer ID also appears under sales table. So now the question is that which is the primary key, which is the secondary key? My answer is, or should I answer it? No, I should just explain. So the question is that you have the 2 tables. Sheet 1, you have customer. Sheet 2, you have sales. In the 2 sheets, you have customer ID, one of all the columns. So that the question is that which of this customer ID in customer table or customer ID in sales table is the primary key, and the other one will be the secondary key. So you just imagine only the two sheets on your dashboard, customer sheet 1, sales sheet 2. You are just interchanging between the two. When you open customers, you see all the data there with all the columns, headers. You open sales, you see, and you see all these column headers. One thing that is unique is both sheets has customer ID. So now to work with these two tables, which will you tag to be the primary key? Which of this customer ID as the header of one of the columns is going to be the primary key?
Okay, Chukwuka.
Go ahead, please.
Some few minutes ago, you noticed that I mentioned that when an ID is inside its own original table. And what do I mean by that? The customer ID, which table is its own original table? Let's start with that. For customer ID, which table is its own original table, Chukwuka? When we say customer ID, which table is customer ID? Like, which table is customer ID's original table? It is the customer table. Do you understand now? Because that's where all the information about customers are stored.
The first information, right?
Do you understand?
Yes.
All the information about the customers, they are stored on the customer table.
Yes.
That is why we call that table a dimension table, because the table talks about customer alone. You will not see any other information about product, about location, and it's just about customers. So the customer ID original table is the customer table.
Okay.
I now said it earlier that when that same customer ID, when you now find it inside the transaction table like a sales table, where all the transactions now happen, because that customer ID, that is not its own original table. The customer ID there is just representing the customer that did the transaction. It now becomes a foreign key inside that table.
Inside the sales table now.
Inside the sales table, exactly. Any key that you are seeing that is not inside its own original table, it will be a foreign key in that table. It's just like the way we are as Africans. Our original country is Nigeria. And we're located here. Right? Same thing for Chinese, for Indians, for everybody. When in our own country, where we have our own passports, that is our own original country. By the time we get to another country, we become a foreigner. Do you understand the concept now?
Yes, I do.
So because the information of customers are originally stored inside of the customer table, which is the dimension table, you will see the customer ID with all the customer attributes, their first name, their last name, their address, their email, their gender, their postal, all the info about customer is on customer table. Same goes to products, same goes to location, same goes to segments. That's all those primary keys, customer ID, product ID, location ID. By the time they now get to a sales table, which is where all the transactions are going on. Oh, somebody bought this product, 5 quantity at $1 unit price, blah, blah, blah. It was shipped using second-class ship mode at Vancouver at social date. At social date when it was ordered at this date. All those transactional details, those ones will be inside of the sales table. So let me now ask you again, Chukwuka, to something that you know it. the product between product table and sales table, which column are we using to connect the two together? Between product table and the sales table.
It will be the F column.
Don't say F column. Mention the name of the column.
The product ID.
Product ID in which table?
On the sales table.
And product ID in which other table?
On the customer table.
You can't see product ID on customer table now. Chukwuka.
Is it that I'm not understanding
what
your
is
question?
customer product ID looking for in customer table? Look at your screen very well again.
I'm looking at my screen.
So did you see product ID inside of customer table?
No, it's on products.
Exactly.
It's on products.
Without even anybody even telling you, when you hear the word product ID,
I'll go to products.
You know that the primary key will be on products.
Yeah. On products. Sorry.
And if you see product ID inside sales table, you can't say foreign key.
Understood. Same as the location ID.
So location ID, on what table is a primary key? On what table is a foreign key?
On location is a primary key, then on the sales table is a foreign key.
What about segments?
The segment ID, on the segment is the primary key, while on the sales table is the foreign key. Ship mode is a primary ID on the ship mode table, and is a foreign key on the sales table.
So do you understand the concept now?
Yes, I do understand where they link now.
So let's go back to customer again now.
Okay.
What columns are we using to link the two tables together? Customer and sales.
So it's the customer table and
which columns are we using to link the two together? If you want to link them together.
It will be the customer table and the
what column?
What column?
I'm not saying table now.
It will be G.
I said don't mention that thing again. Don't say G.
Sorry, the customer ID. Sorry.
Mention the name. Exactly.
Customer ID is where you link it together.
Customer ID from where? From what table to what table?
From the customer table to the sales table to link there the customer ID on
now
the
sales table. Now, the customer
table.
ID that you see inside of the sales table, is it a foreign key or a primary key?
No, it's a foreign key.
Why is it a foreign key?
Because that's not its original location.
That's not its original location. That's the number one reason. What's the second reason?
Because it's imported from the customer table.
Thank you. Here. Thank you. Thank you. Now, before we go ahead, there's one concept that I need to explain to you guys. And I want you guys to either write it down on your phone, or you either, if you have a jotter and your biro, you can just, and your pen, you can just write it down. There's a concept called referential integrity. As a Power BI data analyst, these are important concepts that you must understand. Referential integrity. After I'm typing it on the chat section. Let me now ask you this question, Chukwuka. Sorry that I'm facing you today. I want you to understand it.
So it's good though, because I think I missed a lot from your last lesson.
Please
go ahead.
What if I say referential integrity? I will tell you what it simply means. Does it make sense for us to have a customer ID inside the sales table, and we don't have a record of that customer ID inside our customer table? Does it make sense?
No, it doesn't make sense because there's no origin or where you get it from. Okay.
Thank you. Now, when you now have a customer ID appear inside of the sales table, and you don't have a record of that customer ID inside of the customer table, which is the original table where customer information are being stored, then we call that referential integrity violation.
Okay.
Do you understand? I put on chat section. I want you guys to understand that. You can read more about the concepts. When you have a child without a parent, is that possible?
That analogy is strong.
No, it's the same. It's the same analogy here. Having a child without a parent.
So it cannot be identified. We don't know the root.
You see a customer appearing in sales. No info about the customer inside customer table. That simply means that we have violated referential integrity. Referential integrity means when all the foreign keys have their primary keys inside of their original tables. So imagine now I sold a product in the sales table. There is no record of that product inside the product table, which is supposed to contain all the information about all the products that we are selling. That is violating referential integrity. Is it clear, everybody?
Yes, it is.
When there is a foreign key without a primary key, the dimension table is like the parent table. Customer table has all the info about customer. Product table has the info about products. Location table has the info about everything location. Segment and ship mode have every info about segment and ship mode. If we now see a ship mode that we've never recorded before as part of our ship mode table, we now see that ship mode ID appearing, then there's a problem. Because that will also affect our reports. Because by the time we now link the two tables together and we now create a report from it, you will now see something called, you have something like blank. Because it will not be able to fix that particular ID. It will not, the ship mode table will not have a record of it. And when you now want to do sales by ship mode, you now start seeing blanks. Because that does not, it is not even existing inside of the ship mode table.
So when do you know this? Sorry, when do you know it is you are not applying it? For example, you are not using
okay.
You've not put any number to those cells. Is this something, just for my knowledge and when we progress, is this something you identify, or it is when you run report, you know that, okay,
it is something that you either identify or you see it when you run your report.
So when you run your report, you need to start afresh again.
No. When you want to create a report, you will pick elements from different tables, right?
Yes.
For example, now I want to see
sales by
I want to see sales by customer. I can give customer first name and last name combined, for example.
Yes.
Now, if I connect the two tables together based on customer ID, the sales and the customer table, if I connect the two tables together,
yes,
and I run the report, I now put the customer name on the left side. I put the sales figures, sales amounts on the right side. It will show me one name. In the list of the name, it will show blank. It will attach a sales amount to that customer name that is blank. Do you know what I'm saying? I will not be able to see the customer name because there is no record of that ID of that customer inside of the customer table. I will just see blank in the list of the customer name, and I will see some sales amount attached to that blank. Do you understand now?
Yes.
Because there is no record. There is no record. There is no record of that customer inside of the original table for customers, which is the customer table. Don't worry, by the time we go out with the class, you will understand even more better the concept of refresher integrity. So there are different ways you can identify if you are violating refresher integrity. I'm just giving you the basics of refresher integrity. Is it clear?
Yes, it is, please.
Okay. I'm seeing some new people here. Imanshu Machanda. Can you say hello to us? And tell us where you're joining us from. I'm also seeing Wale. Can you say hello to everyone and tell us where you're joining us from? Can you guys hear me? I'm also seeing Kamal Keshinro.
Yeah, bro.
Well done, sir.
Morning, sir.
Morning. Machanda, can you say hello to us? And Wale. I'm also seeing Aisha Badamosi. And I'm also
Hello,
seeing
good
Jason.
morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning. Please, can you introduce yourself and tell us where you are joining us from?
Okay, my name is Aisha,
Okay.
and I'm joining from Winnipeg in Manitoba.
Oh, Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, what about
Hello,
okay, hello, Machanda.
hello. My name is Imanshu Manchanda. Yeah, I'm also from Winnipeg.
Oh, nice. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Okay. Who again? Wale. Are you from Winnipeg also? And Jason. Okay. Nice meeting everyone. Joining from Boston.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, let's go ahead. So, for those that are just joining us, Machanda, Aisha, Wale, Jason, and all of those guys, please. The meeting recording will be on YouTube today. I'm going to share the link with everyone. If you want to join our user group, I'm going to send us the link. I'm coming, just hold on for me. Let me generate the link so you can join our WhatsApp group so that in case we have any program that we are doing, any webinar, anything, you'll be able to see the information on the WhatsApp group. I'm pretty sure that most of you joined us from Meetup, right? You can respond to the chat section. I'm pretty sure most of you joined from Meetup. We're also doing something on Sundays, every 7 p.m. Winnipeg time on Sundays. We call it the Fabrics Sundays, where we are diving into Microsoft Fabric. But the reason for this bootcamp is because we have members who are still completely new to Power BI. So we want to give them that foundation of Power BI first before we now start teaching them Microsoft Fabric. Is that clear to the new joiners? Also, I would like you guys to, in the chat section, tell us about your proficiency in Power BI. Are you at the beginner level? So it will make me understand where you are coming from. So put in the chat section, beginner, intermediate, advanced. Everybody, Machanda, Wale, Jason, and Aisha, please put it in the chat section. Tell us whether you are beginner, whether you are advanced, whether you already have some knowledge about it before. You can say intermediate. You can even tell us in the chat section your current job role so that we understand where you are coming from.
And possibly if there are MVPs.
If they are already MVP.
Yes, sir.
Oh my God. Please, it's very important that we know this. Please, intermediate for Machanda. Oh, nice. Intermediate. I also see Aisha say intermediate also. Okay, what about Jason and the rest? Please, this question is very important for you to answer. It's for us to understand where you are coming from. Okay, no basics of BI. Okay, good. Okay, good. Please, others should respond when they are available to respond. Thank you. Okay, somebody said I know Tableau or Power BI, but never really pushed the barrier. So it's okay, good. The only thing I would just advise you guys is that number one, join the WhatsApp. I shared the link to our WhatsApp group. Join. That's number one. Number two is that you guys should. I will share because this will be our 4th class. Am I correct, Christina? This will be our day 4.
Yes, right? You're right.
Okay, I'm right. Okay, I'm correct. Yes. So the videos of day 1 to 4, which is today, is going to be on YouTube today. So if you join the WhatsApp group, I'm going to share the link to the YouTube to our YouTube channel. The channel is still new because we just started this user group like few weeks ago, so it's still pretty new. So you are going to see all the video, and I would advise you guys to watch the video before we come again 9 a.m. next week Saturday, because we are bringing a guest speaker who's an MVP in Microsoft, and he's going to come and teach us the core of dimensional modeling. And I want you guys to open your hearts, like open your mind to it. Like, don't be shy. Ask questions, please. We are all here to lift up each other. That's what we do as a community, right? So ask questions, and Francis.
Yeah.
I would like you to share your experience joining us last year from the Power Platform group. What are some of the things that you gained from joining the group?
Truth be told, it's been very encouraging in the sense that we started from the foundational level, and it was like trying to make us realize that no matter what, encouraging us to ensure that we are able to back some certifications, and encouraging us that this is something that if we put our mind to it, we can achieve. And we went on with all the classes, and obviously
from when to when?
We started in December, right?
No, we started October.
October, okay, yes, October.
And we ended the class in April.
In April, and we
October
started with
this year. Yeah.
With the PL300, preparing us for the PL300 exam, certification exam.
And how many people passed that exam in the group?
Oh, I've lost count too. But I don't know whether I'm the newest.
You are the newest person that has a certification now.
Exactly, because I wrote it the first time, I missed it narrowly, and I was almost discouraged. But thanks to all of you here, with your encouragement, when I see somebody drop that notification that I just passed, and it was like, hey, guys, you can do it. And I went back and gave it my second try, and I was able to bag my certification in PL300 as a Power BI data analyst. So it's been a journey that has been very encouraging. He also encouraged us to do the what do you call it again? Microsoft Dataverse. That one that does Dataverse, and that teaches us Dataverse.
Power
Apps, yes, Microsoft Power Apps. And good enough, I also did it. I got my badge. So it's been a world of Microsoft which is unending, and I know that it's going to certainly land us in that position that we so desire.
Thank you very much, Francis, for sharing your experience joining the community. So for the newcomers, last year we started the user group registered with Microsoft, which is the Winnipeg Power Platform user group. The user group is focused on anything Power Platform. we've had a lot of webinars, we've had a lot of guest speakers. We were doing in-house training for members. We started October last year and we ended it. We ended this class. Okay, I think it wasn't October. I think it was November we started. It was November. And we ended the class in April. It was a lot of back and forth, a lot of sharing of knowledge, experiences. It was a lot of challenging people to actually learn and unlearn and relearn. And about 5 people have passed their Microsoft certification by the virtue of the class, right? So we're expecting that at the end of this class, that will be in October. We are expecting that you guys will take your exam from what we've learned in this class and also from all the other personal readings that you will do on your own, that you'll be able to also pass the certification. But the foundation is very, very important. Look at Francis now. He's a living testimony. At first, he did the exam and scored I think he scored 630 or something. Am I correct? In your first attempt?
Yes.
Aha. And second time he did the exam again, he passed it. Right? And the reason why we now opened up.
I scored 680, very close to the 700.
Oh, 680. Oh, very close to the 700 pass mark. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. And later he now passed. Now, the reason why we now created this community out of that is because Microsoft now focused Power BI inside is now part of Microsoft Fabric. So we have to now separate the two groups to say, okay, the Power Platform user group will now be for Power Apps, Power Automate, Data Vast, Copilot Studio, and all of those things. Then the Fabric and the Power BI user group will now be focused on Power BI and Microsoft Fabric. And even we are also going to be doing some Azure stuff here too, where we talk about Azure services, resources, storage accounts, all of those things. Don't worry, we are going to get there. We want Winnipeg to be a tech hub where people can get opportunities, whether from within or outside of Winnipeg. We want to build that community where I can call Aisha and tell Aisha, oh, there's one particular opening somewhere. Are you available for it? They're going to pay you $100 per hour. We want to get to that stage as a community, right? And also, I want to also encourage us that we are going to be doing a conference next year. It's going to be a physical conference called FabCon. I'm hoping that Microsoft will give us that, they will approve us finally, and we can finally organize the FabCon conference too in Winnipeg next year. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. So as we were discussing earlier, before some other things came into the scene, we're discussing the concept of primary foreign key, fact and dimension tables, how they are being linked up. We explained the concept of referential integrity violation. It means that when you have a foreign key in a fact table that does not exist inside of the dimension table, which is the table that has details about the dimensions and their attributes, right? Now that we are all done with this, can we now go back to the Power Query now, Christiana? Good. So now, there's something that I didn't explain to you guys last week, and I want to give you just a foundation, because you see, there are some things that set you apart from others in terms of you being a Power BI data analyst, right? Now, there are different levels to Power BI in terms of career growth. There is the Power BI data analyst, which is like somebody that just knows the basic to intermediate, right? There's another level called Power BI developer or Power BI engineer. And I'm going to explain that to you. So Power BI developer is somebody that understands advanced concepts in Power BI. Not just in Power BI, but other things related to Power BI or business intelligence as a whole, or analytics. A Power BI developer will be somebody that understands advanced part of Power BI, integrating Power BI with several external tools for optimization and for a lot of things, right? A Power BI developer will be somebody that understands SQL, not just SQL basics now, SQL advanced. You talk of subquery, you talk of common table expressions, you talk of functions, store procedure, mention a lot of what is advanced queries, right? If it's a Power BI developer that is very, very proactive, the person will also have an idea about data engineering. It might not be in depth, but at least they understand data engineering concepts. They understand surrogate key, they understand natural keys, supernatural keys, slow changing dimension, different kind of fact tables that we have, semi-addictive, addictive, non-addictive, accumulative snapshots, periodic snapshot fact, a lot of all of those advanced stuffs. They will understand it. Do you understand? And they will better, it will also guide them to better work with data. But don't worry, I believe that gradually we are getting there. It's not a day job. It requires a lot of commitment. It requires a lot of reading, personal reading on your own. Okay. Now, there's a concept called conceptual, logical, and physical model. Did I touch that last week, Christina?
No.
Okay, go back to the Excel sheet.
Yeah.
Now, you see those, I like those tables by your right. The sales to segments. The table list. The table list by your left. Sorry, I was not, I made a mistake. By your left. Now, you see this, all these tables that we listed now. At this level, we call it conceptual model. We call it what? Conceptual model. Because, okay, let me see if I can share my screen. Christina, hold on, let me share my screen for a while.
Okay.
I just discovered this website, escalidraw.com. One of my mentors uses the platform. So let me start here. Okay. So we have what we call conceptual, logical, and physical model. Now, where is this one? Okay. Conceptual, logical, and physical model. Now, let's talk about the three. What do they even mean? Now, a high-level information of your data is the conceptual model. Now, let me bring in this. And let's start with the conceptual now. My first time using this Escalidraw, so don't mind me if you see me struggling with it a little. Okay. Now, for example, you have your sales table. Okay. You have your sales table. You have your product table, right? Let me shift this one. Okay. You have which table again, Christina? Customer table, right? You have
customer table, location,
okay.
Segment.
We have location. We have segments.
Ship mode.
Yes. We have ship mode.
And then the date.
Then we have the dates. All these are the conceptual model. is a high-level information, not giving us the details per se, just high-level information of our data model, conceptual model. Now, when it now comes to logical model, okay, let me copy and paste this. When it comes to logical model, what you will see in logical model is this. You will now see that all the different tables, this is where we now attach a column to them. So in product table, for example, just use one table as an example. The kind of columns that we see in product table is what? Christina?
Product ID.
We now see things like product ID. Yes.
Product name.
Let me increase the size of this a little to the right. Okay. Product name.
Product category.
Category, yes.
And the brand type.
Brand of the product, yes.
And the type.
The product type, yes.
And manufacturer.
Sorry?
And
manufacturer of the product, okay. Manufacturer of the product. Now, when we now begin to add columns to the different tables that we have identified, that is where at that stage we now call it a logical model. When we begin to identify what? When we begin to put columns, identify the columns that we need to be inside of this product table, for example, we now call that a logical model. The conceptual stage is when we just identify all the tables that we need. The logical stage is when we identify the columns that will be in each table, and we now create that relationship between them. So inside the logical, another example of the logical, let's for example, we talked about sales table the other time, right? So let me copy and paste this, copy, paste. Okay, let's take sales as an example now. Sales table as an example. So inside the sales table, you see something like order ID, right? Order ID, you see the order dates, date when the order was created. You see delivery dates, when it was delivered, right? You see product ID, for example, product that was bought. Now, we can link these two tables together. We can create that relationship between them from the product ID here to the product ID inside of the product table. Now, conceptual is identifying all the tables. Logical model is identifying the columns that will be in the different tables and creating a relationship between them, right? Creating a what? Relationship between the two tables, the different tables. That is part of the logical model. Your physical model looks like this. I will show you what physical model looks like. This is a physical model. It's a data warehousing OLTP concept, but we also use it in Power BI. Now, we'll now talk about physical model now. Let's see how that one will now look like. We'll now take the product table as an example. Physical model. So let's take the product table as an example. So I will make this one a little wider so that I can contain what we want to talk about. And I'll make this one wider too. Okay. So, for example, our product table, we'll talk about physical model. That one now talks about, give us the metadata of that table. So I'll show you now. So product ID, right? You will see info like the data type. It can be integer. You know what integer means, everybody? Or should I explain it? When we say a column is an integer column, what does that mean, Christiana?
It's numbers.
Numbers, good. Okay, we can say product name. Those are no SQL related. Product name is voucher. What does that mean when we say it's voucher? Christiana?
Variable and character. That's number and character.
Variable and character. Thank you. Thank you. When we category, when we say category is voucher, you know what that means, right? Variable and character. You can say branch, also voucher, right? What again? Type. It's also what?
Voucher.
Voucher. And also manufacturer. It's also what? Voucher.
Voucher.
Right? Thank you, Machanda. So at the conceptual level, all we are seeing is high-level details, all the different dimensions and the facts. Products, customer, these are the high-level information that we need. Right? At the logical stage is where we now identify the columns that we need to put inside each of the different tables. At the physical model level is where we now have a record of the metadata of those columns inside each table. Is it clear to us? Conceptual, logical, and physical model. If it's not clear, I can come again. Is it clear to you, Aisha? Is it clear to you, Wale? Okay, it's clear. Thank you. Is it clear to you, Jason? Yeah, let me allow you use your mic. Oh, I think you can use your mic. Okay, it is clear. So, in case you get to an interview and they ask you, when you want to start your Power BI reports or projects, what are the first things that you need to do? Is to identify your conceptual model, your physical model, and your logical model. Is one way you can answer that. Right? Okay. So now that we understand these concepts, now let's now go back to the Power Query. Let's go back to the Power Query. You can share your screen now, Christiana. So it is inside the physical model, Jason, that we understand whether it's we now identify the primary and the foreign keys. Although we can identify that inside of the logical model because that's where we create the relationship and the columns, right? But the physical model will give you an information about which one is the foreign key in this table, which one is the primary key in this table, and the column data and the column data types also. Is that clear, Jason? Okay, thank you. Now, looking at the screen that Christiana is sharing, guys, we can tell me. I want the new people that just joined us to tell us this. I want Aisha to unmute herself and tell us this. From the table you are seeing on the screen, can you tell me the conceptual model, the tables you can derive from this table? The different tables that you can bring out from this table. This time you can scroll right and left slowly for her so she can see all the different columns and tell us the tables that we can bring from this.
I can see products table.
Okay, you can bring up product table from here. Yes.
Sales table.
Sales table. Yes.
Customer table.
Customer table. Yes. You can be scrolling slowly so that you can be seeing all the columns that are here.
So
4 tables now that you've mentioned, right?
yeah.
Customer, products,
sales,
and which one?
Customer sales, products.
Yes.
I think I mentioned those 3.
Okay, those 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Machanda, any other tables you see? Thank you, Aisha.
Oh, you're welcome.
Product, sales, customer. Okay, is that all? There are many tables you can see from this table. There are a lot of tables that you can see from this table. It can't be only just those 3 alone. What about segments? There is segments.
I was thinking there. The segments like will be under the products table.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Segments are those that are consuming the products.
Okay, not product segments.
Not product segment, no. Okay, scroll to the, you see postal code. So we have a location. Okay, sorry. So we can form a location table from here. You see that, Aisha? There is the postal code column.
Yes, I do.
I understand what you mean, Machanda, by saying that postal code can be in customer table. It can be in customer table, yes. But it can be on it. It can be on its own.
And all my
sorry.
No, sorry. I was just
because if we want to connect our location table to sales table and we want to see sales by locations, how they are performing by locations, we will definitely need a standalone table that is a location that talks about different locations. Is that clear to you? Okay, is that all the tables?
Almighty dates table.
Dates table, yes. We can bring out date table from this. So is that all?
Other table, ship.
We can take other sales table.
The ship mode and ship date will be in which table? We can create
a
separate table for
the ship mode is a table on its own. It talks about different ship mode. So go to the ship mode column so you can show him. There's a drop down there. You see the different ship modes that we have. Click on load more. Yeah. You see first class, same day, second class, and standard. So it's a standalone table. The ship date will still be inside of the sales table. The ship date will still be inside of the sales table. It doesn't have anything to do with ship mode. Is a different entity on its own. That one's just to see when was the order, when was the product ordered, and when did they deliver, when did they ship it, something like that. One is just a date attribute. This one is the mode at which they transported the product. Okay. Now, what we'll now start doing today, well, we're going to do one, then we'll come back next week again, we'll continue. We are going to now, so what is what you do for me? You see that sales table where you are seeing queries on your left, Christina. On your left, where under queries.
Yeah.
You right click on that table and you will click reference. Now, there are two options there, reference and duplicate. I'll tell you what the two means. When you click on duplicate means that you are duplicating the table. And it means that when you click on duplicate, it means that whatever you do on the duplicate table doesn't affect the original table. Right? But if you click on reference, it means that whatever happens to the original table will affect the new table that you created, that you referenced. It will be seeing the first table as the source. Do you understand between the two now? Duplicate and reference.
Yeah.
When you click on duplicate, it means that you are duplicating the table and they are now like standalone tables. Whatever you do in the first one doesn't affect the second one that you just created, that you just duplicated. If you click on reference, whatever you do in the original will affect the reference table. So click on reference. But for optimization, reference is preferred than duplicates, so that you have the sales table as the source of all the tables. So click on reference. Click on reference. Good. Now rename this table as products. Double click on this, double click there. Yeah. Name as product. So we are trying to now do our logical model now. We've identified all the tables that we need. That is the conceptual. Now we need products. Now you now go to choose columns on the submenu. Good. Now we don't need to, there's something I want to show you guys. You don't need to go and be removing columns. To make your report maintainable, the best way, and the reason why I'm saying this is because if you now need the column again, are you now going to always go back to your applied step to go and change it? No, that will be stressful. So the best way is just to use choose columns. When you use choose columns, you can, if you need a column at the end of the day, you can always come back here and just check box it, right? So what you do for me now is this. Unselect everything and only select columns that relates to products. Product ID, yes. Product category, yes. Product name, yes. Those are it. In fact, we can even have unit price. Yeah. Inside the product table, we can have the unit price. Yeah. And we can decide not to have the unit price there. Either way, it works. Right? So there's situations whereby on the product table in an organization, you will see everything about the products, even the units cost, even the unit price.
Sorry, can we add quantity in this case?
No, we can't. Quantities for transaction.
Okay.
Chukwuka, we can't add quantity. So, but when we had unit price, that one already tells us that that's the price per unit. The unit now differs. Is it when we say unit, do we mean carton? Do you understand? Do we mean boxes? Do we mean just one of that product? So context differs. Do you understand? So what I'm saying here is that the unit price, we can decide to put the unit price inside of the product table. We can decide to put it inside the sales table. Either ways, it will work. But don't worry, it will make more sense to us. But for now, I'll still show you more examples. But for now, remove the unit price for now. Christina. Okay? So we have product ID, category, and name. Then click OK. Right? Now, another thing you do, because this one is coming from the sales table that has everything. But we are trying to now, bring out different parts from the sales table, different dimensions. So you will now click on your shift button and highlight the 3 columns. So one is already highlighted. Click on shift, pick the second one, pick the top. Good. Now, when you pick the 3, right click on anywhere. No, go and pick it again. 1, 2, 3. Right click there. You will now see remove duplicates. Exactly. Remove duplicates. Good. So what we now have is a unique list of the product ID with the product name and the category. Now, shift the product category to the last and let the product name be in the middle. No, you will shift it in a way that it will be in the middle. The product name will be in the middle of the two. Good. Can you now see it, guys? Now, go to the product category column and let's see the different categories that we have. Click on load more. So we have furniture, we have office supplies, and we have technology. Do you know that it's still possible for us to separate the product category too as a different table entirely that will now link to the product table? But I'm not doing that for now. When we get to data modeling, we are going to check, we are going to do that. But I see this as a beginner class, so I don't want to go too in depth into this. But we can at least have this one for now. So that's how we are going to do the same thing to bring out other tables, customer, dates, everything. We'll do it inside of this place. So we can stop the class for today. And Saturday next week again, we'll come back to continue our logical model. Any questions so far, guys?
My question would be,
yeah,
for those of us that are beginners, will we have this template so that we'll just practice?
Christina can save the 2 files and send to you. And you continue from there.
That would be nice. That would be nice, Christina.
Please do that, Christina. Thank you. Any questions? Anybody? Machanda, Jason,
I have
Francis?
a question.
Oh, ask your question, ma.
Yes,
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, let her go first, then you go. Okay.
So for the tables,
yes,
I was working on a file and I wanted
yeah.
to like have a duplicate of it. So I actually right click on the file and then I duplicated it. But when I wanted to delete the original, it was telling me it's like a reference that I cannot
Of course, it's a reference. You cannot delete it because that's the source of that table.
But you said if I click on reference as well, it's also a source. You cannot delete it, right?
No, reference is when you click on when you create a new table using reference.
Okay.
That original table is the source of it. And whatever happens to the source will happen to that new table that you just created from that table.
Okay.
But for duplicates, the two can be like standalone. It means that what happens to the first one, original one, will not reflect on the second one.
Okay. But does that mean if I use the reference, then I can have my product table and delete the sales table?
You don't need to delete the sales table.
Sorry.
All you will just do is that you are not going to load it inside of your Power BI desktop.
Oh, yes. Okay.
You will not load it, but it will be there as a reference. We call it staging table.
Okay.
It's not a table that you need for the report, but it's a table that is used to create other tables that you need.
Other tables. Okay.
So it serves as a source table for you, but you will not.
Okay.
So it's just what they call. So go back to share your screen quickly, Christina. Let me quickly show us something.
I've already closed it.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So when we come, I'll show you something. So when you right click on that table, you will see something like I'm coming. I have it here. I have one Power BI stuff open here. Aha. This is something like enable load and include in report refresh.
Okay.
You can disable load.
Okay.
But it can still be included in report refresh.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
I later
used that.
Yeah.
I later used that. I later used that feature, but I was just looking for a way to delete that original one because
No. You don't
I
need to
didn't really
delete
need
it.
it.
You don't need to delete
Okay.
it.
Okay.
You're not just going to load it. That's all.
Okay. Okay.
You will not load it.
All right. Thank you so much.
No problem. Okay, let's go ahead now. Machanda now.
Yeah, I just want to confirm, can I get
Yeah.
the CSP for this data set?
Yes. Christiana will send you everything. She's our class captain from today.
Okay.
She will send
also
you.
one more. Will you be sent
Also
to
one
the
more.
group, WhatsApp group, or where will it be sent to?
It can send to the WhatsApp
What?
group. That one will be preferred.
Okay. And the
Yeah.
second thing is that can we do these in the Mac? Because what I have seen, we
Oh,
can't do
you
this.
are using Mac.
Yes.
Okay, so you take your system to a system engineer. They will help you install Windows on your Mac.
Because I had tried several times, but it always told me that you need to install Power BI desktop. So that's
Yes, you need
only
to
for
install
Windows.
Power BI desktop, but for you to do that, you need to install Windows on your Mac first.
Okay, for parallel, I would need to
So
install
take
the
you to
parallel.
you can go to Polo Park. I think there is a system engineer there in Polo Park. I've forgotten the name of the shop. You can
What shop?
I've
Sorry,
forgotten
which
their
shop?
name, but there's one I know that is in Polo Park. I will look
Okay.
for their name and send to the group. You can go there and they can
Okay.
help you install Windows on your
Okay.
Mac.
And the last thing is, what's
Yeah.
the name of the channel that I need to follow on YouTube where
Uh,
I get the
I just created the
information?
channel, so there's no video there yet. So let me just put a video there and I will share the channel link with us. Just join the WhatsApp
Okay, so
group.
I need to watch the previous videos of
Yes,
this.
very important.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank
It
you,
was
guys.
nice meeting
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
See you guys next week, Saturday, 9 a.m.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, what's the time for tomorrow?
No. The
Same
time for
time?
the fabric Sundays is 7 p.m.
And what's the Winnipeg time, if I'm not wrong?
Sorry?
The Winnipeg time would be for tomorrow. So
No,
tomorrow
it's
we have
still
a class.
Winnipeg. I'm in Winnipeg too, so it is 7 p.m. Winnipeg time.
7 p.m. Okay.
Yeah, that's 7 p.m. CDT. Yes.
Okay. And
Yeah.
can you please send this group? I can cross check.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. See you next week. Bye.
Thank you.